So I've come down here to take a few photos at Coventry Canal Basin to experiment with some of the settings on my Leica Q3, which I've had now for a couple of weeks or so. I just need to understand the improvements over the Leica Q2 in terms of focus modes, etc. So I just want to try a few different things out as I go along. And Canal Basin's always full of interesting old buildings as well as the canal itself. Plenty of sort of contrast floating around, so lends itself potentially to monochrome black and white photos as well as colour. So I have to see how I get on. So the thing with the Q2 was that the focusing wasn't very good, so I just used to use single point, focus, recompose, and that was how I did it, and it worked. With Q3, autofocus is supposed to be a lot better, so it's got eye, face, body focusing, etc., and also animal detection. So I've been trying that down at the Canal Basin, and I'm pretty sure that I will be able to use that for street photography. When you've got really sort of light white sky like this, it's very easy to, it's very easy for the camera to just blow out the highlights in terms of the sky. So what I'm trying to do perhaps is reduce my exposure a bit to try and retain any detail there is in the sky, although to be perfectly honest it doesn't look like there is much, because the Leica Q3 should be pretty forgiving at recovering the shadows really. So I'm relying on its ability perhaps to do that, and hopefully it will work out okay. So here's a quick example of that. You can see that I've exposed for the sky, and you can tell in your viewfinder if you set it so it blinks if it's blown out, which helps you. And because I've exposed for the sky, the rest of the photo is pretty dark. But then with a few adjustments in Lightroom, you can easily lift those shadows and show all that detail that's sitting there. And at the same time, you can now see that with a bit of editing on the sky that there's plenty of detail left in that. Thinking about the contrast there is in the picture with the sort of the blown out sky or the very white light sky, I've experimented a little bit with exposure bracketing, which Leica makes it very easy to do. So we'll see whether that makes any difference or how that works out later on when I get the images on the computer. So with the Leica, when you're using exposure bracketing, you can choose whether to do 3 photos or 5. You can also adjust the difference in exposure between each one. I went for 5 photos, and I think I chose a 1-stop difference between each of them, and then it's easy to merge them in Lightroom, tell it to merge as HDR, and then you end up with a result that I've obviously cropped that a bit and edited, but I think it's quite nice as a monochrome image. Anyway, I was only down there really for about 45 minutes or an hour, just enjoying myself. And as much as anything, this video is really me practicing with Adobe Premiere Pro, the Leica Q3, the Osmo Pocket 3, in trying to tell a bit of a story without any planning, which is where I've gone wrong, obviously. So anyway, I hope it's of a little bit of interest.